All right, it is time to begin. Thank you so much for your patience. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Filipino-Chinese, good afternoon to all of you, and a happy Chinese New Year. My name is Luella Chan from Chinatown TV and a member of the FFCCCII Media Committee. Welcome to the Chinese New Year, Year of the Water Tiger, celebration of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated. 各位女士们、先生们，亲爱的各位来宾，给大家拜年啦！欢迎来到非华商联总会庆祝2022年虎年新春联欢会，又是一年一度的春节新春佳节了。非常荣幸能与大家在大年初一共同庆祝虎年的到来，在此祝贺大家新年快乐，如虎添翼，万事如意。Without further ado, let the program begin. May we all rise for the singing of the Philippine and China National Anthem.
Tayong mag-ibig, kailas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyak ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang ay di magtitindig. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling ko. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Please be seated， 请大家就座。非华商联总会始终致力于服务社会，帮助菲律宾广大民众。The FFCCCII has built a legacy of service in the Filipino and Chinese community. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all watch this short video of FFCCCII through the years.
It is estimated that there are over 2 million ethnic Chinese living in the Philippines in the year 2020. That's 2 million out of the nation's 105 million population, and many of them share similar experiences despite diverse backgrounds and stories. These shared experiences and the challenges they encountered is what gave birth to the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, or FFCCCII. Today, FFCCCII is a progressive, dynamic, and service-oriented organization of Filipino-Chinese entrepreneurs, bringing together over 170 business and trade associations from all over the Philippines. Its umbrella comprises of chapters nationwide, from Apari to Tawi-Tawi, with representation for every chapter. Every member must be a person of vision, dedication, and integrity, all coming forward to create change in their community, but donate their time, resources, and efforts to push forward their shared vision. To this day, the Federation also serves as a bridge of understanding and commerce between ancient trading partners China, where its entrepreneurs trace their ancestral roots, and the Philippines their home. The Federation represents a broad range of entrepreneurs in the Filipino-Chinese community, majority of them already Filipino citizens. But there are also enterprising new immigrants over the last 10 years who joined the Federation. The year was 1954 when the Federation was first established. It was organized by a group of ethnic Chinese business leaders who banded together so they can present a collective voice and unite efforts to support economic and social progress. It was also the golden era of Philippine economic reconstruction after World War II. The group has a long list of illustrious men at the helm, starting with its first president, the industrialist philanthropist Yu Ke-tai, to its current head, industrialist and hybrid rice pioneer Dr. Henry Limbon Leong, who was elected in March 2019 and later inducted by President Rodrigo Duterte. All these notable leaders have created the federation that we know today, one that's seen the boom and bust of the local economy, the rise and fall of personalities and power turned over through 10 governments and counting. Leading the Federation is like guiding a country, with all the layers of memberships, protocols, and most importantly, a shared vision for progress and philanthropy. Apart from playing a role in nation building and establishing good relations between the Philippines and its Asian neighbors as trade partners, the Federation is very active in its dedication to serving the society. Starting from one of its flagship programs, Operation Barrio Schools, which has become the Philippines' biggest educational philanthropic project of its kind. The Federation has helped donate over 6,000 public school buildings for economically depressed rural areas across the country since the project's introduction in 1961 until 2020, helping to provide education to millions of children in far-flung areas. The Filipino-Chinese community believes education is a very efficient way to solve poverty and social injustices in the country. And when calamities strike, the country can count on the Federation to be among the first on the scene. Thanks to its extensive network of member chambers, it is able to quickly mobilize resources and emergency personnel to affected areas. The group undertook several relief campaigns, like Operations Friendship in 1955, Operations Brotherhood in 1956, Operations Puso in 1960, and Operations Binondo in 1964. When it comes to unexpected fires, the group has established a fire brigade network with thousands of Filipino-Chinese volunteers ready to help and risk their lives to assist affected families, regardless of race or socio-economic background. It has even rallied its members to offer aid for widows and orphans of soldiers during the 2017 Marawi siege. And in early 2019, when 22 Filipino fishermen were caught in the middle of a possible geopolitical and diplomatic bind, when a Chinese fishing vessel accidentally collided with FB Gemver 1 in the disputed Recto Bank, FFCCCII also offered a helping hand. This proactive effort, along with aiding in the rehabilitation of the Filipino fishing vessel and donating rice to the community of the fishermen, helped ease the tension. The Federation has appealed for several critical bills in Congress, campaigned to support local industries, and fought for fair labor practices. Buy Pinoy, Save Jobs is just one of the group's initiatives to promote local manufacturing and entrepreneurship, in turn, supporting the employment of millions of Filipinos. The Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry has proven its legacy of service in its more than 6 decades of existence, and today, it remains steadfast in its mission. While the landscape may change, the values and the vision remain the same: to contribute to nation building, assist the welfare of the Chinese community, and help build up the Philippines into one of Asia's progressive countries with sustainable and inclusive economic growth that will uplift every person in the society. The Federation has stood the test of time, passed on from generation to generation, evolving, enduring, and contributing to improving the Philippines' future in the last 65 years and in the next 65.
A legacy of service, ladies and gentlemen, FFCCCII through the years. And now, this event is spearheaded by the FFCCCII Media Committee, headed by Vice President Mr. Jeffrey Nam. Now, to introduce our beloved President Dr. Henry Limbonyong, let us all welcome FFCCCII Media Committee Chairman Mr. Wilson Lee Flores. 现在有请非华商联总会新闻主任李天荣先生介绍商总理事长林玉庆博士，谢谢。
Thank you very much, Tosha. To give the welcome remarks, we'd like to invite Filipino-Chinese Community Calamity Fund convener and president of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Inc., FFCCCII, Hua Xia Kiu Tse Ki Kim, Song Chi Hui, 都是非华商联总会理事长非华商联总会理事长林义庆博士来欢迎时welcome remarks by Dr. Henry Limbonyong.
Thank you so much, Wilson. I'm happy, that today is our Chinese New Year. And of course, hopefully, if he can join us, His Excellency Ambassador Hong Xilian of the Chinese Embassy, Presidential Advisor Joy Concepcion, our distinguished guest, my friend Nikki Coseteng, former Senator, esteemed business leaders with Taipans joining us also, the leaders and members of the various Filipino-Chinese associations and institutions, our friends from the legislative, executive, and also the judicial department of the government, my colleagues at the Federation and our member chambers across the country, friends, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasant good afternoon and welcome to our Chinese New Year celebration. Happy Chinese New Year to all of you. Today we welcome the new year in the lunar calendar, filled with optimism and bright prospects and potential. The year 2021 saw the Philippine economy gradually emerge from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, with a full year economic growth at 5.6%. We all welcome the good news, and we are confident that we can meet our 6.5 to 7.5% growth forecast for 2022 if we have the perseverance, the courage, and the determination in this year of the tiger. This is the year of the water tiger, for your information. And the growth we achieved last year is supported by the united efforts of the government and our people in dealing with the pandemic, particularly our cooperation for the largest vaccine rollout in Philippine history. Our Federation is pleased to be part of this undertaking through our FFCCCII Operation Bakuna program that inoculated 250,000 economic frontliners, employees, and entrepreneurs from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The emergence of highly transmissible variants, such as the Omicron, remind us that the battle against COVID-19 is not yet over. We would need to continue to uphold health protocols and vaccines, be resilient, and learn to live with COVID-19 as it becomes endemic, and hopefully by this year. We are looking forward to a new year filled with plenty of opportunities for businesses, especially those in the industries hardest hit by the pandemic, including the tourism and leisure industries. We anticipate more businesses adjusting to the new normal at working and adopting digitalizations and e-commerce, which have made great leaps during this pandemic and are expected to expand even further. Let us continue to support our local enterprises, our Buy Pinoy, and support our Filipino farmers, promote more investment to the Philippines, and unite us as a nation for us to be more globally competitive. Amidst the difficulties, the pandemic and Super Typhoon Odette last year, we in the Filipino-Chinese community have become together as a family, and we rose above the challenges. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the supporting organizations of the Filipino-Chinese Community Calamity Fund, namely our organization, the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, and also the FFCCCII Foundation. The Federation of the Filipino-Chinese Associations of the Philippines, Philippine-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Overseas Chinese Alumni Associations of the Philippines, Filipino-Chinese Amity Club, World News Daily, Filipino-Chinese Xinlian Association, Filipino-Chinese Commerce and Industries Overseas Association, Philippine Songqing Ling Foundation, Philippine Jinjiang Shen Fujian Association, and World Fujian Youth Federation of the Philippines. For COVID-19 relief efforts, the Filipino-Chinese Community Calamity Fund raised 300 million pesos for the much needed medical supplies, equipment, face masks, and PPEs for health workers and frontliners, as well as relief packs for affected communities nationwide. We've already given food packs for more than 1,500 barangays, and we are still doing it on a weekly basis. Moreover, we raised more than 80 million pesos for our Odette relief operations, which we have already distributed tens of thousands of relief packs and also roofing materials and generators to affected families and communities in Visayas, Mindanao, and Palawan. My heartfelt thanks to all our friends, donors, and partners in the Filipino-Chinese community for your full support, which enable us to reach out to our fellow men in need. We at the Federation look forward to your continued encouragement and support as our task is not yet finished. Marami pa po ang may kailangan ng ating tulong. Samahan natin sila sa kanilang muling pagbangon. Today, this new year, we can do it even on the greater heights. Together, we can give more. Together, we can make the impossible possible. Happy Chinese New Year. Our best wishes for a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2022 for you and your family. Right now, with your indulgence of our distinguished guests, allow me to deliver my message in Chinese. 尊敬的中国驻菲律宾大使馆特命全权大使王希濂和夏季大使馆诸位领导和长官，华社各团体领导和代表，女士们、先生们，亲爱的华社同胞和菲律宾兄弟姐妹们，大家新年好！今天是农历令寅5年的大年初一，本人非常荣幸代表非华商联总会主持这场春节网上视频庆典的活动，尽怀着感恩的心情，代表本会向你们播出上网参加这场盛会的各团体各位热心的人士，致以最诚切的谢意和最热烈的祝贺。新年福至，此气东来，万象更新，则此新春佳节，尽向全非华人同胞和菲律宾的兄弟姐妹们拜个早年，恭祝大家虎年大吉，虎虎生威。辛丑牛年是一个不平凡的一年， 由于新冠疫情特殊细腻，菲律宾以至全球各地的各行各业都处于低潮，许多人在迷茫中徘徊，每一天都在牵挂明天会是不是将是风平浪静，还是大风大浪，整天在惊风海浪中过日子。我们华侨，特别是在菲律宾也经历了许多的风风雨雨，所幸全华社能够以主流的社会的全体菲人兄弟姐妹共同进退，无论是酸甜洋还是苦辣，大家都能融入共存，经过彼此同心协力，百此万难之下，终于看到一丝的曙光。本人也要在此代表上总感谢中国的大使馆、华社各团体、诸位社会贤达和团体侨胞，在过去1年内带起了对本会的支持和信任，使我们得以完善各项服务，特别是在抗疫防疫的赈灾等慈善工作的方面。在新的1年内，上总必定不会辜负诸位的期望和重托，并将尽最大的努力健全我们的制度，来进一步提高我们的服务的质量，让大家对本会更加放心和拥护。中华民族的传统节日体现了中国文化的特色与魅力，蕴含着中国文化的价值观。希望今天这场庆祝活动能够体现中华的特色，承载着春节的内涵，为全华社侨胞和菲人兄弟姐妹们奉上精密的文化盛宴，将中国农历新年的丰厚体温和主流社会分享，让菲中两国的文化欢集交融。随着本国的民众接种疫苗已经率战普化，国家经济复苏方案也取得价值，希望大家能够万众一心，把去年的抗疫防疫和提醒经济等工作再接再厉，做得更加尽善尽美。衷心盼望着我们的抗疫任务能够大功告成，好让大家把精力专注于重建经济方面，以恢复大众的生活水平，让我们的国家在复兴中的大道上永远勇往的直前。最后，祝愿我们菲中友谊万古长青，两岸早日实现和平统一，共图和共圆中华民族复兴的中国梦。也祝大家在新的1年内和气吉祥，身体健康，家庭康泰，万事如意。谢谢大家。
非常感谢商总理事长林玉兴博士的欢迎词。Before we proceed with the rest of our program, we would like to acknowledge the presence of Manila Mayor Isko Moreno. Welcome, boss, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of the leader of SM Group, Ms. Teresita C. Gossen, and chairman of PDO Unibank Incorporated. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, and now we shall proceed. In this special occasion of the Chinese New Year, we are very lucky to have received celebratory greetings by guest speakers from different government and business sectors. So without further ado, please watch this video. Thank you.
Message from the President of the Philippines. My warmest greetings to the entire Filipino nation and the Chinese community in the Philippines as we celebrate Chinese New Year. This year of the water tiger is hoped to bring us good fortune and renewed strength as we recover from the COVID-19 pandemic and other challenges that have tested our mettle as a nation. Through our courage, faith, and determination, we have become more resilient and capable to build back better. It is my fervent prayer that 2022 will be a better year for all of us in terms of wealth, health, relationships, and progress. As we look forward to the blessings of this auspicious occasion, let us continue to demonstrate the ideals of bayanihan and malasakit, especially to those who are most in need. Let us all look forward to more opportunities for growth and prosperity in the new year and become instruments of peace, harmony, and generosity to all. Mabuhay and Kyunghi Huatzai. Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Manila, February 1, 2022。来自中国驻菲律宾特命全权大使黄希莲。亲爱的同胞们、朋友们，值此辞旧迎新之际，我谨代表中国驻菲律宾使馆全体同事，向你们致以最诚挚的节日问候和最美好的新春祝福，祝大家新春佳节快乐，阖家幸福安康。过去的2021年仍然是不平凡的一年。新冠病毒全球持续肆虐，变异毒株纷至沓来，菲律宾当地疫情形势波动反复。这一年又是我们党和国家历史上具有里程碑意义的一年。我们隆重庆祝中国共产党100年华诞，胜利召开党的19届6中全会。我们实现了第一个100年奋斗目标，在中华大地上全面建成了小康社会。正在意气风发，向着全面建成社会主义现代化强国的第2个100年奋斗目标迈进。我们乘着应对100年变局和世纪疫情、经济发展和疫情防控，保持全球领先地位，同时积极为全球发展贡献中国力量，彰显大国担当。以习近平同志为核心的党中央，以伟大的历史主动精神、巨大的政治勇气、强烈的责任担当，推动党和国家事业取得历史性成就，发生历史性变革，中华民族伟大复兴进入不可逆转的历史进程。一年来，中非全面战略合作关系在两国元首战略引领下不断走深走实，两国以抗击疫情和经济复苏为主线，各领域互利合作不断深化，新时期伙伴关系进一步密切。中国疫苗作为非全国疫苗接种的主力军，广受赞誉。双边贸易和投资逆势上扬，稳步攀升。政府间合作项目不断开花结果，人文交流合作成果丰硕，惠及更多民众。一年来，使馆时刻牵挂在菲同胞的安危冷暖，我们排除万难，在菲成功实施海外最大规模的春苗行动，以严格措施保护赴华乘客健康安全，大力整治赴华航班市场乱象，为广大同胞精心打造中非人文之艺交流平台，积极推进护照旅行证云上办、领跑腿，举办多种形式的领保、证件和防疫知识讲座，以勤勤恳恳的工作，让大家得到实实在在的获得感、幸福感和安全感。广大旅菲华侨华人一直是支持祖籍国发展建设、促进中非友好合作的重要力量。面对严峻疫情，在华社抗疫委及其他相关社团的带领下，大家团结自强，互思互助，以大爱护佑同胞生命健康。在菲律宾遭遇严重自然灾害时，以华社救灾基金为代表的非华各团体挺身而出，慷慨解囊，第一时间伸出援手，帮受灾民众渡过难关，重建家园。此外，广大华侨华人为扶助中非友好积极奔走，对使馆各方面工作鼎力支持，通过各种方式为中非友好关系添砖加瓦。大家的一举善行令我们深受感动，大家的关心和帮助我们会铭记在心。 各位同胞，各位朋友，人一年的春节注定又是一个特别的春节。因为疫情的阻隔，许多同胞仍然无法回国与亲友团聚。但请大家不要忘记，驻菲使领馆永远都是你们在海外温暖的家。我和我的同事们会一直陪伴、守护着大家，做大家的坚强后盾。最后，祝各位同胞虎年生龙活虎，事业兴旺，阖家幸福，吉祥如意。黄希濂，中国驻菲律宾特命全权大使，2022年1月28日。Message from former Philippine President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Greetings of peace, good health, and prosperity to all Chinese Filipinos and the Chinese nationals residing in the Philippines on the Lunar New Year of the Water Tiger. Special greetings to all officers of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, who regularly spearhead the celebration of Chinese New Year in this country. The Filipino-Chinese are well integrated into Philippine society, so much so that many Filipinos who cannot trace their Chinese ancestors observe some common traditions associated with the celebration of the Lunar New Year, or have adapted these customs to suit other annual Philippine celebrations. These show that Filipinos acknowledge the unquestionable influence of the Chinese on Philippine development, particularly in the areas of language, cuisine, and especially economic growth. To this day, many Filipinos emulate the practices that have brought wealth to most Chinese settlers in the Philippines. Cognizant of the close ties our two people have enjoyed over several centuries and the valuable contribution of the Filipino-Chinese community to Philippine economy, I declared in 2002 that June 9 be celebrated as Filipino-Chinese Friendship Day. But we must not limit the celebration of our two countries' ties to only June 9th. Let us celebrate friendship whenever we can, remembering the indelible past connections between our two countries and focusing on the need to work together to achieve our common goals of peace and prosperity and a healthy life. Kong Hei Fa Choi and Mabuhay!
Happy Chinese New Year sa mga kababayan natin Chinese Filipinos na nagdiriwang ngayon. Kahit iba pa rin ang celebration natin dahil sa patuloy na banta ng virus, hindi nagbabago ang mensaheng dala ng bagong taon. Na sa kabila ng anumang hamon, palaging may pag-asa, palaging pwedeng magsimulang muli. Na anumang pagsubok ang dumating, malalagpasan natin ito hindi sa pagkakanya-kanya, hindi sa pagtatalo, kundi sa pakikisalo at pakikipagkapwa. Maraming salamat sa tiwala, suporta, at pakikiisa ninyo sa mga pangarap natin para sa bansa. I wish you all a happy, peaceful, and prosperous year ahead. Muli, Happy Chinese New Year!
Hello, Kong Hei Fa Choi. Greetings to all the members of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce, who are our very important partners in nation building at sa economic development. So, salamat po sa inyong mga kontribusyon. Thank you very much. And more power to your organization. Kung Hei Fa Choi, Happy Chinese New Year.
Kong Hei Fa Choi to the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated. May this new year be filled with happiness, prosperity, wealth, and many precious moments with your loved ones. I also pray for everyone's protection from any harm that may come your way, especially the unseen enemy, COVID-19. Mag-iingat po kayong lahat. Happy Chinese Lunar New Year 2022 sa inyong lahat. God bless po.
Dr. Henry Limbonleong, President, at sa lahat ng bumubuo ng Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated. Sinyan Kuaila, Happy Chinese New Year! Ako po ay kaisa ng buong Filipino-Chinese community sa ating pagsalubong sa bagong taon. Tulad ninyo, hangad ko ang isang masagana, ligtas, at mapayapang bagong taon na maghahatid sa atin ng pagbangon at pag-asa. Bagamat patuloy nating hinaharap ang mga hamong dulot ng COVID-19 pandemic, patuloy tayong nagsumikap at nagdamayan upang malagpasan ang mga pagsubok at magtagumpay sa ating mga layunin. Nais kong pasalamatan ang inyong organisasyon para sa patuloy ninyong pakikiisa at pakikipagtulungan sa ating mga kababayan. Ngayon, sinisimulan natin ang isang panibagong yugto. Sana ay ipagpatuloy natin ang pagkakaisa upang patuloy tayong makapaghatid ng kaunlaran sa buong bansa. To all members of the Filipino-Chinese community, I wish everyone prosperity and good health. Maraming salamat muli. Happy Chinese New Year!
Happy Chinese New Year to the officers and members of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated and to the whole Filipino-Chinese community. I am happy to join you as we welcome the Year of the Tiger. Let us all be hopeful that this new year will further strengthen us to overcome all the challenges we are facing. May the Almighty continue to give us good health and success so that we could extend and share our blessings to our kababayans who are in need. I wish everyone peace, happiness, and prosperity. Thank you and Kung Hei Fat Choi.
Gong Si Fat Chai, Kung Hei Fat Choi, to the Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and to the whole Phil-Chai community. This year of the Water Tiger, this fire horse wishes you prosperous and healthy days. Although we might be faced with many challenges, I hope you continue to face it with the power, the courage, and the clear-sightedness that the resilient Filipino-Chinese community is known for. Thank you. 谢谢 for your incomparable contributions to our nation. May we continue to work together to bring good fortune for all Filipinos. Gong Si Fat Chai, and have an abundant Year of the Water Tiger.
Kong Shi Fa Chai, as most of you would know, I have long been valuing in my heart my cordial relationship born out of genuine goodwill with you, my friends from the Filipino-Chinese community, especially from the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, led by its president, Dr. Henry Limbonleong. May this new year serve you the best fortune commensurate to the generosity and respect you afford to our community. Let us welcome this Lunar New Year by sharing a safe and meaningful celebration with friends and family. May the Year of the Water Tiger bring the promise of strength, success, and good luck to all of us.
Greetings to the Filipino-Chinese community on the occasion of Chinese New Year. May the amity among Filipinos and Chinese be strengthened further, and I wish for a joyful, safe, peaceful, and prosperous Chinese New Year celebration in the days and months to come. Gong Shi Fa Chai, Kyong Hee Huat Chai, Happy New Year.
Kong Hei Fat Choi. As we celebrate the Year of the Water Tiger this Chinese New Year, I would like to extend my warmest, most fervent greetings to all our Chinese friends in the People's Republic of China, here represented by His Excellency Ambassador Wang Xilen, as well as all our Filipino-Chinese communities here in the Philippines and abroad. May the year of the water tiger bring us good fortune, prosperity, and above all, unity towards a shared future and towards a post-pandemic tomorrow. We join you in this festive celebration of welcoming the new lunar year. Kyung Hei Fat Choi.
Ang mga problema na hinaharap natin ngayon, ang katapat ay hashtag ay may solusyon. Ang ugat ng problema ay bigyan ng solusyon. Humahashtag ay may solusyon.
To all the Federation, to all our favorite Chinoys, most of all to President Henry, how are you all? Kung Hei Fat Choi 2022, third year under COVID, but we're all surviving, especially my mom.
A Happy New Year. I wish you all the best.
Yes, may the year of the
never
tiger.
forget your visit to our home. And also your friends. I wish them all Happy New Year. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
I
God
wish
bless.
I could sing you the Gong Si song, but the only real Chinese song that my mom and I know, Chairman Mao taught us, and it goes, 我爱北京天安门，天安门在大洋山，伟大领袖毛主席为我们向前进。我爱北京天安门，天安门像大洋山，伟大领袖毛主席为我们向前进。
To the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, I wish to greet our kababayans a happy new year of the water tiger. Gong Xi Fat Chai. They say the year of the tiger symbolizes recovery and growth and family. Recovery and growth will happen, and I believe this with the most qualified presidential candidate, Leni Robredo, a wood snake. Sabi nila, snakes are deep thinkers. They like to plan well. They are determined in whatever they do and have strong ethics. I should know, si Sharon was born in the year of the snake. These are precisely the traits we need in our leaders to lead all of us out of the challenges we face today. On the other hand, I am a water rabbit. And people, they say, born under the sign of the rabbit are gentle, sensitive, compassionate, amiable, modest, merciful, and have a strong memory. And they like to communicate with others in a humorous manner. That jokes, that the rabbit and the snake are perfect partners for good governance. Let the year of the tiger be auspicious, not suspicious. Once again, to our kababayans in the Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your sacrifice for our nation. Thank you for being engines of growth for the Philippine economy. And once again, Gong Si Fat Chai.
Magandang araw po sa inyo. I'd like to greet Dr. Henry Lim Bon Leung, the President of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Kung Hei Fat Choi, warm greetings to the administration and members of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm honored and delighted to join you in welcoming the Year of the Tiger with joy and hope for good tidings and cheers for Chinese and Filipinos as well. The year has been challenging as we walk through with fear and uncertainty. The COVID-19 pandemic has truly crippled economies and lives all over the world. We continue to struggle through, holding on to our steadfast belief that the days ahead will be brighter and that life will be restored to how it was. As we welcome year 2022, may we, like tigers, be blessed with strength and courage, even amidst adversities and trials. Similarly, may the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry be the tiger leader that will usher us into year 2022 with greater energy, stronger unity and prosperity. Once again, my well wishes to the Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Kung Hei Fat Choi. Ito po si Senator Francis Tolentino.
Kung Hai Fat Choi to all the officers and members of the Federation of the Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Inc. The COVID pandemic may not be over, but we welcome the incoming year of the water tiger more bravely, with much confidence and vigor, much like the personality of a tiger. While we have witnessed a surge in COVID cases this preceding month, particularly due to the onset of the more infectious Omicron variant, statistics show that we are dealing with the virus head-on, and soon enough, we may very well defeat the virus. The vaccinated people who got infected were either asymptomatic or just had mild symptoms, while it was the unvaccinated that had severe symptoms. This shows that we are reaping the gains of the aggressive vaccination drive the government has embarked on with our gallant health frontliners. But the work is not yet over. We should never remain complacent in dealing with the virus. For the safety of all, let us encourage and not leave anyone behind in vaccination. Get the unvaccinated vaccinated, and for the vaccinated to get booster shots if already due. I thank the business sector, particularly your federation and its members, for your generosity and for being a valuable partner in safeguarding the welfare of the citizen during these challenging times. The Federation and your members' abundant donation and contribution of resources, healthcare equipment, gears and supplies, including vaccines, to the government and various communities have certainly helped in managing the pandemic and in easing the burden it brings. I'm one with you in hoping to have an end to this pandemic and for the economy to regain its robust activities within the year at the soonest possible time. As we celebrate this Chinese New Year, I wish you will have longevity, good health, abundant blessings, joy, peace, and harmony at all times. Again, Happy Chinese New Year. God bless and stay safe.
Greetings to all our friends at the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And a happy Chinese New Year to you all. Kung Hei Fat Choi. I want to thank you all for the immense contributions of the Filipino-Chinese trade and industry community in helping the country survive this pandemic. At this crucial time, you have provided gainful employment to our people, and you have been a valuable contributor to keeping our economy alive. Kaya maraming salamat sa inyo. Saludo po ako sa inyo lahat. This year of the Tiger, I wish you and your families good health, and I wish your organizations good fortune, so we can all keep working together as we continue to deal with and eventually recover from this pandemic. Again, thank you so much for all your work. Please stay safe and healthy, and once again, Kung Hei Fat Choi.
Happy Chinese New Year to all the officers and members of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce, headed by Dr. Henry Lim Bun Leong. I hope and pray that this Chinese New Year, Year of the Tiger, will bring success and prosperity to everyone and to our country. I hope we will soon see the end of pandemic and bring back the normal life we had before. So happy Chinese New Year to everyone. Please continue to pray to God to bless our country and this world. Maraming salamat po.
Up next, may we all welcome the Mayor of the City of Manila, Mayor Isko Moreno. Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Madam Host. Magandang araw sa inyo. Kasama ko si Doc Willie dito ngayon sa City Hall. To our President, Dr. Henry Limbonlyong. Henry, kamusta ka? I'm happy na mukhang hiyang na hiyang ka sa quarantine. Pajeta ka konti, medyo tumataba ka ngayon. And I'm happy that you're healthy. And the others, the Executive Committee, Chair, the Vice President, other officers, and members of the Federation, at sa ating mga distinguished guests, magandang araw sa inyo dito sa lungsod ng Maynila. Muli po, let me take this opportunity. Una ay magpasalamat sa inyo. Maraming salamat sa Federation on behalf of the people of Manila na kayo ay laging kaagapay ng ating lungsod sa lahat ng oras, sa magaang na araw, sa mga maraming pagsubok na araw. Sa dami ng tinulong ng Federation, ito'y napakinabangan ng ating mga kababayan dito sa lungsod. At maraming salamat, lalo na nung pandemya. Kayo, sa lahat ng member ng Federation, I just would like you to know na ang inyong mga dinodonate sa Federation na siyang tinutulong naman sa amin dito sa lungsod noong panahon ng maraming kalituhan nung nag-uumpisa lalo na itong COVID-19 pandemic sa ating bansa at sa ating lungsod. So thank you very much to all the things that you have given us na tulong para sa ating mga kababayan. At maraming salamat. Pangatlo, gusto ko lang ipaalam sa inyo na taos-puso ko nagpapasalamat sapagkat lumago ang mga namuhunan sa Maynila. Bagamat nagkaroon tayo ng pandemya, we've lost some businesses in the city, and about 7% of our registered businesses in the city, but we grew at 12%. So we're still positive 5 sa ating growth sa pagninegosyo sa lungsod. In fact, nakita ko kanina si Ma'am Tessie. Nakita ko siya sa screen kanina. In fact, I would like to thank SM Group of Companies for really reinvesting in Manila. Tatlong malalaki na investment na gagawin ng SM sa Manila, sa United Nation, doon sa Ross Boulevard, at saka yung mayigit 7 hektaryang lupa sa may Harrison Plaza. So, despite the pandemic, there is also opportunity to grow. Yung ating adversity, gagamitin natin yon in our advantage. And thank you for trusting the City of Manila na kayo ay bumalik dito sa ating lungsod at maghanap buhay. Now, ngayon naman, bilang ganti, umasa kayo, sasabihin nyo sa mga kaibigan ninyo na dito sa Maynila, no harm will come to you. I cannot give you perfect government, as I have promised before. I'll do my best na sawatain yung pag-aabuso, panggigipit, o panlilin lang. Unti-unti, gagawa natin yon by adapting to technologies, by creating certainty in our rules, and liberal understanding of some rules so that business can come in and the ease of doing business in Manila will be felt by our investor, especially yung ating mga Filipino-Chinese na naninirahan dito sa kabilang ilog ng ating lungsod sa may Ilog Pasig. So, I hope naging masaya kayo at I hope nakita ninyo yung katotohanang sinabi ko nung araw, no? About taxes, about rules, about efficiency in governance, about cleaning the areas, making it mapapanatag ang pamumuhay ninyo sa lungsod habang ako ay alkalde. I hope lahat ng ibinilin ko sa inyo, lahat ng sinabi ko ay nagawa ko. At kung meron pang pagkukulang, ay pagpapasensya nyo na, pero hindi pa rin tayo titigil na magbuti bilang alkalde ng lungsod na magkaroon ng maayos, panatag na pamumuhay at paghahanap buhay sa ating lungsod. Kami naman ni Doc Willie, masa kayo, itong pandemyang ito, no? Ang ating prioridad ay dalawang bagay. Buhay at kabuhayan. Yun ang magiging direksyon natin sa mga darating na linggo. Pangangalagaan natin ang buhay, at the same time, we must open. We must do our business and learn. We can learn to live with COVID-19 and go back to work safely. That will be our direction. So muli, ngayong araw na ito, Happy New Year! Happy New Year sa ating mga kababayan na Filipino-Chinese, not only in Manila, but all over the Philippines. Because we know for a fact, simula pari hanggang hulo, may member ng federation. So binabati ko kayong lahat at kung sakasakaling may maitutulong ang pamahalang lungsod ng Maynila, kanino man, huwag ko kayong mahiya. Welcome po kayo sa Maynila. At kung ano nasimulan natin, tutuloy lang natin. At kung ito'y naging mabuti, pagbubutihan pa natin para lalong lumaki, lalong bumilis ang magandang epekto ng mga magagandang gawain. So happy Chinese Lunar New Year sa inyong lahat. Babati sa inyo si Doc Willie.
Yes, Mr. Henry Lim Bonliong, wasi Ko Willie. I'm a Filipino-Chinese. For many years, lagi ko kasama mga FCCCI, mga mayayaman yan matutulungin. They're really very helpful. They just want to continue the business. And for the profit, they will give a large amount to charity, to poor patients. Nakikita ko very helpful sila. For the past 4 months, kasama ko si Mayor Isko, nakikita ko talaga he's really pro-business and very helpful to the Filipino-Chinese. Marami siyang magagawa sa bayan natin. That's why he got me. I will take care of the pandemic. He will take care of the business issues. I'm sure our country will be very prosperous for our business and for our people if we have Mayor Isko as the president. Salamat.
Okay, Henry. Thank you, Doc Willie. Henry, thank you ha. Mag-iingat kayo at sa lahat ng nanonood, sa lahat ng mga miyembro and officer, Happy Chinese New Year. And always believe that someday, somehow, let's continue to be hopeful that someday, somehow, things will be better again by tayo naman, magtutulungan, mamamayan, private sector, government, being together, and let's build back together for a better future. Happy New Year sa inyong lahat. Ingat kayo. God first. Henry, ingat kayo, Henry.
Happy New Year, Your Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
More power to you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Isko Moreno and Dr. Willie Ong, for your message. Up next, may we invite Presidential Advisor on Entrepreneurship and founder of Go Negosyo, Secretary Joey Concepcion, for his message.
Good morning. It's actually good evening here for me. I mean, actually in the States. I just finished a meeting with the Octa Group. I'd like to greet, of course, the Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce. No, I mean, you guys have been with us for a long time, ever since the pandemic 22 months ago. Of course, your president, Henry Lee Bonliong, a good friend, a real supporter of Go Negosyo for since the very start of when we started Go Negosyo. So again, Happy New Year, Kung Hei Fat Choi to all of you. And as you know, we have been relentless in trying to find a solution in really balancing both lives and livelihoods. And there is no way, but it's almost impossible to have that balance. The approach really is to, and in the past 22 months of being involved in all of this, I realized that it's really, we have to save both. We cannot choose. We just have to save both and do the best in saving both lives and livelihoods. And that has been our approach. Your chamber has been one of those who have really supported us when we started, basically with the bare weapon of rapid antibody test kits. Now, that was way back 22 months ago. And when we came out with a dose of hope, the first vaccines to be brought in the country, it was not the government, it was the private sector. It was through the efforts of Sec Galvez and of course, AstraZeneca and the private sector coming out with a tripartite agreement. And that allowed the entry of 17 million doses coming from the private sector and some LGUs. So that is the first move of the private sector, a huge move. And part of that was donated to the government. But now we, as they said earlier, that donation we gave them, they're giving it back to us. More than that, we have pushed a lot. You have helped us in donating RT-PCR equipment to many of the government laboratories, and the list goes on. So Henry and I have been working together, and many of your directors have been part of this initiative of getting the private sector to take the lead. And happens to be that I find myself in a position that many are depending on our next steps. And you have seen that we have done a lot in trying to really open the economy safely. Last year, your chamber supported our move to call an early lockdown to save the fourth quarter. And I know Henry was met with a lot of opposition as well from your group. They were not certain that we were doing the right thing. And because of what Okta guided us to with the proper data and studying the data, we were able to convince the Metro Manila mayors, and of course, Secretary Galvez supported that early lockdown. That early lockdown saved our fourth quarter, and that was the objective. And I'm happy that your president supported me all the way, despite some misgivings, because for a while, he was thinking that we made the wrong decision, but we did the right thing. So we saved the fourth quarter. You saw the GDP numbers at 7.7. Now, moving forward, I said that's going to be our last lockdown, and I really mean it. So they've shifted to an alert level 1 to 4, whereby we basically are on an approach towards granular lockdowns. But then again, the game is changing very rapidly. We saw the first quarter, the way it is with Omicron coming in. But look, we are ready. We have vaccinated over 100% in NCR already. Besides, in Mindanao and certain parts of Luzon continue to be a problem. But with our efforts and the teamwork that we have with the IATF, we are pushing vaccination to the max. So we've launched Vax to the Max, a program that, of course, your chamber has supported us. We're also pushing Boost to the Max, another program that we're pushing a lot. Vaccination is the key, really, in allowing us to bring back the economy. There is no other way to do it. Vaccination does not prevent somebody from getting infected. That game has changed. But vaccination prevents people from getting severely ill and getting hospitalized. When you get hospitalized and we fill up the hospitals, doon na ang problema. Pag dumating halos napupunang hospital, nag-lockdown tayo. But you saw with Omicron, despite the cases going up, our hospital capacity was not threatened, barely hitting 50%, and some hospitals even way below 50%. So as I was saying, and together with Okta, I believe, and I know DOH doesn't want us to say this, but there is a great chance that we are seeing that change, the endemic coming. Now, it's all up to us, our mindset. We now have to have a mindset change. And when Father Nick talked to me a couple of months back, he said, you know, you have to go to the States and see it for yourself. No? So I'm actually here right now in the Bay Area of California, and I've seen the difference. In America, everybody wears face masks. The restaurants will ask for your vaccination cards. They will be strict. Compliance, okay, Americans, you know, some of them will wear masks outside, some of them won't. But you can see that they follow the rules. No? And everything is normal. People are going out, people are dining out, people are moving. Of course, the restaurant sector here has been severely hit as well, no? And you can see it with a number of restaurants and shops closing. So the economy has also been affected. But there is great mobility here. Now, the challenge in our country is mobility. So when we had high mobility in Christmas, we had that surge, which was because of Omicron. But as the mobility went down, of course, then infection starts to go down. So the difference with what we have right now with Omicron, we believe that this being mild will allow us to move on to what I call a different stage. And in my meeting with the Father Nick and some of the Okta fellows just a while ago, we are extremely optimistic that the year 2022 will be definitely a much better year. And we should now focus on the economy. We should now open up. And that's what we've done. We wrote a letter, Father Nick and I wrote a letter prior to the ITF meeting on asking them to actually two requests to bring down the quarantine back to 3 days since we see that Omicron is tapering off. And or if not, just scrap the entire quarantine requirement, which they did. And that was a great win, no? Removing the quarantine and allowing people to just, you know, take a 48-hour PCR test 48 hours prior to departure from America or whatever country of origin, coming home and going straight and doing your quarantine at home, except for the unvaccinated. No? So that was a great move. And that is now going to allow more tourists, businessmen, to be able to come here without the hassle of being quarantined. So that is a big win. We requested them to bring it down, you know, alert level from alert level 3 to alert level 2, and it was done. No? And we're now looking to push towards alert level 1 in a month from now. And I believe that is possible. No? It's very possible. We will show the data of Okta, their projections in the next couple. I think we're releasing that announcement tomorrow. So you will see in every week, the cases will go down. No? So we are extremely bullish that this can eventually, maybe by April, we are looking at hopefully back to alert level 1. And in my own view, we won't need alert levels anymore, the way I see it. Alert levels will be similar to typhoons. When you see an incoming typhoon, then you raise the alert level 1 or 2 or 3. But if there are no typhoons, then why will we raise the signal? So our thinking is that we don't see any problem. We should really get out of alert levels, and we just have what we call basic protocols. So that is what we're pushing right now. And we are inviting, of course, your chamber to that meeting to really put everything together in what I call the exit plan that we are doing right now, an pandemic exit plan. No? That is what we are preparing right now. So again, the year of the tiger, I believe it's going to be a great year for all of us. And we're doing everything we can to make sure that the economy is going to be in a much stronger footing. We have basically 3 to 4 months left before this administration will have to turn over to the next administration, whoever the president will be. And I don't want to see that we turn over the economy getting COVID. No? We should make sure that when we turn over the economy to the next administration, we're turning a vibrant economy. We want to see the GDP numbers in the first quarter and second quarter to beat, the previous numbers before, and that can only be by allowing the economy to open up more, and you will see more of this push in the coming days, and you have my assurance that we are really there trying to help our micro and small entrepreneurs, and many of them have been able to cross over to this year because we saved that fourth quarter. We want the business people to really have a strong first and second quarter. And he sent me a text from one of your members, which made me, happy that, the efforts that we're doing, people are really happy that things are coming back. And we want to see us moving to a normal life. And hopefully in the year 2022, things will be better for us. And again, thank you for your support. You have supported us even on the very hardest point in our time. And again, maraming salamat to your chamber. To Henry, congratulations and more power.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joey, for joining us today. I know that it's is it night time or is it early in the morning? I'm sorry not to let you wait, but thank you again, Joey, for a very, very, this kind of advice to our members. We are also celebrating the Chinese New Year. Again, rest assured, the Federation will always be behind Go Negosyo. Thank you.
To the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, led by Dr. Henry Lim Bonlyong, our good friend, Mr. Jeffrey Nang, and thank you, Mr. Wilson Lee Flores, for the invitation to our friends in the Filipino-Chinese business community. Ladies and gentlemen, Kung Hei Fat Choi, I am honored to be here, although virtually, at your New Year celebration on the first day of the Year of the Water Tiger. I tend to agree with the forecast that the Year of the Tiger will bring about new changes and inspire people to overcome challenges and difficulties. Indeed, if the latter part of 2021 is any indication, we can say that 2022 could be the year we reclaim or even surpass our pre-pandemic GDP growth levels in 2019, when we were the second fastest growing economy in Asia. Our GDP in the fourth quarter last year posted a growth of 7.7%, resulting in a 5.6% full-year growth in 2021. This is even beyond the government's target of 5 to 5.5% annual growth for 2021. Moreover, some of the country's economic indicators in 2021 likewise surpassed the pre-pandemic 2019 levels, such as exports and the FDI. Exports was even 5% higher, and FDI 23% higher than the pre-pandemic 2019, signifying real growth and even brighter prospects for this year. We have reason to believe that the Omicron variant will have minimal impact on our targets, and we will soon be back to the new and better normal after Omicron. What we have seen is that with our country's good economic fundamentals, any reopening of our economy, such as allowing for higher operating capacity in many businesses, immediately translates to higher consumer spending and faster growth. We have a very strong consumer sector with 110 million Filipinos as our population. As many are now returning to jobs, higher income is resulting in higher consumption spending, and this attracts more investment and expansion activities. Our manufacturing capacity, our exports, and the entry of foreign direct investments have all increased, reflecting greater investor confidence, resulting in a virtuous cycle of more jobs, more income, and greater consumer spending. Our average annual FDI during this Duterte administration, meanwhile, has more than doubled compared to our level before 2016. We now rank 4th, up from 6th place prior to 2016 in Southeast Asia in terms of foreign direct investments. The Duterte administration has been relentless in pushing for major economic reforms that strengthen the macroeconomic fundamentals and the country's business climate attractiveness. You are aware of the game-changing reforms that started with the several tax reform measures since 2017. The CREATE, or the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprises Act, that brought down corporate income tax rates to 25% and 20% for MSMEs, and even enhanced fiscal incentives. And more recently, the Retail Trade Liberalization Act, the finalization of the Foreign Investment Act, and the Public Service Act. Aside from these, we can look forward to more positive developments this year, but we hope you can support us, such as in convincing the Senate to ratify the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, which will create a more business-friendly environment for the country. This will mean more market access for our exports and will encourage more investments and more jobs. It will also mean wider sourcing of our critical inputs to production. Our service exports, likewise, would be more welcome in all the RCEP participating countries. I wish to assure you that the steps have already been taken to address certain concerns about RCEP. In particular, contrary to some apprehensions, agricultural products have been excluded from RCEP. In other words, they are still protected. If we delay the ratification, don't be surprised if other countries gain more advantage in penetrating the RCEP markets and grab shares from Philippine exports. These will erode our exports market competitiveness. In order to maximize our gaining momentum, we have embarked on a vision towards stronger and sustained economic recovery, anchored on a strategy called REBUILD. REBUILD stands for revitalizing businesses, investments, livelihoods, and domestic demand. Revitalizing consumption to boost demand. Empowering production capacities such as those in agriculture, industry, and services to meet the recovery in demand. So for example, on the demand side, it starts with government support via the economic stimulus to keep jobs. This involves encouraging and strengthened consumer expenditure, continuously attracting investments, increasing government expenditure like the build, and further boosting our exports. On the supply side, we seek to enhance production capacities in agriculture, industry, and services sectors to fulfill the demand side growth and help build our export competitiveness and manage imports. This is important to attract more production activities and create a better business environment for investments. We encourage you to be one with us as we work to maintain the momentum of economic growth we have achieved despite the health crisis. We at DTI and the national government have been focused on balancing the need to protect lives and livelihood, and we aim to ensure continuity in businesses and jobs at any alert level, adjusting only in terms of operational on-site capacities and certain exclusions for high-risk, non-essential establishments. You are seeing how we have managed to shift the nature of our health protocols in favor of more economic reopening, which DTI has always pushed for since the second half of 2020. We have now limited the wide area lockdowns and allowed more granular lockdowns, and further liberalized into more home isolation where needed. We have also coordinated with more manufacturers to provide home antigen testing kits, as we want the people to develop the habit of regular self-testing to ensure that they are not infectious whenever they go to gatherings. This will all be part of the new normal. Cases have become more of the mild and asymptomatic as our country has elevated the vaccination rate and booster shots, increasing the immunity of the population. We now have Also various antiviral medicines including molnupiravir, Paxlovid, and the generic Bexovid, among many others in development. We have now allowed greater mobility, shortened and eventually removed quarantine requirements for cross-border travels starting February 1 for overseas Filipinos or OFs and for foreign nationals from non-visa countries starting February 10. This game-changing shift in our protocols is meant to help the hard-hit tourism sector to recover. The management of the pandemic has protected many Filipino lives relative to other more advanced countries which are even still experiencing a strong surge. We would like to emphasize that these protocols and policy shifts are science-based with the help of our IATF medical experts. And at the same time, we have successfully balanced this with the recovery in livelihood, as can be seen from the rebound in economic indicators in 2021. The Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry and the Filipino-Chinese community have always been a significant part in helping address the health system challenges in this pandemic, from the testing to building of isolation and treatment facilities, donation of face masks and PPEs, and the purchase of vaccines and medicines, and ayudas, among others. And of course, you have been a part of our country's economic recovery efforts. For all this, maraming salamat po. As President Rodrigo Roa Duterte has said in his New Year's message, the year 2022 will give us Filipinos a fresh start and an opportunity to aim higher and do things better. Greater things are in store for us in 2022. Let us work together as we build back better toward the new and better normal. Maraming salamat po. Kung hei fa choy, mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Madayao. The city government of Davao joins the entire Filipino-Chinese community in the country and all the Chinese communities around the globe in the celebration of the 2022 Chinese New Year. This year of the water tiger, let us be brave and resolute as the tiger, yet calm and adaptable as water, as we forge ahead and strengthen our respective communities. And let us welcome the new year with hope for a safer and more prosperous future for all. Gong Chi Fa Chai.
Thank you so much, Mayor Sara Duterte. And up next, we would like to invite the leader of the SM Group and chairman of BDO Unibank Corporation to please give her message, Ms. Teresita C. Coson. Thank you.
我是要跟大家人恭喜新年快樂，好年吉祥，祝大家身體健康，生意順利，出入平安，萬事如意。
非常感謝，多謝您。
多謝Daisy for gracing our occasion. Thank you very much. 容易發財，身體健康最重要。
多謝您，多謝您。Up next, we have the Chairman and President of Megaworld Corporation and Chairman and CEO of Alliance Global Group Incorporated, Mr. Andrew Tan, with his recorded message.
尊敬的中国驻非大使馆黄希濂大使及诸位使馆领导和长官，非华商联总会理事长林玉庆博士，华社各团体领导，女士们、先生们，诸位侨胞和菲律宾同胞，大家新年好！喜气洋洋迎翻天，兴高采烈迎新年，鞭炮声响，好运连连。今天是农历虎年春节，充满在此诚心 向大家拜年，恭祝大家新春纳福，吉祥好运。同时，借此机会许个愿，祝愿咱们菲律宾在新的一年能够一切顺利，疫情受到控制，经济完全复苏，各行各业昌盛兴隆。最后，祝福大家马到成功，事顺心，来年发财钱如意，时来运到跑不掉。祝大家新年平安，其乐融融。谢谢大家。
尊敬的中国驻菲大使馆、洪七良大使及各位领导、长官，非华商人总会理事长林业庆图示，社会各团体领导、女士们、先生们，各位同胞，大家新年好！今天刚是虎年的第一天，主仓在这里谨祝大家喜来运到，新春纳福。回想到过去的一年，我们年年还是在新冠疫情下度过不正常的一年。可是，在非华的社会，在中国大使馆的领导下，不分你我，大家相提一条心，致力防疫工作。最后的一句好像有下降，可是最近几天重心严重起来，所以我希望在庆祝新年的这个活动下，各位社团能够做到尽量的简单。有这个经验，所以在明年我们要更加努力，更加做出更好的工作，让菲律宾的经济能够恢复，让菲律宾的人民能够得到更好的提供。现在，我希望最后在新的一年里面，大家能够家庭幸福，工作顺利，身体平安。谢谢各位。
会议上总的领导人林玉庆理事长、严中监博士，恁大家好。今仔日是2022年的春节，咱说百节年为先。春节是中国一个传统的假日，是集合于教育、文化甲风俗习惯于一路。春节的时阵，就是着共同来庆祝这个节日。今仔日上总徛伫大家庭家长的地位，来邀请阮遮参议委员来参与。这个是普天皇的头一摆，阮非常的欢喜，因为咱都知影上总的组织若要健全，也是着有一个后盾，所以参议委员毋但出钱以外，若有机会嘛着参与上足各种的工作。咱今仔日拄着这个pandemic的时代，真侪若像说天灾人的疲烦，上总的责任搁较重。做事的人讲，人生不相见，动如参与商，真是又何事？ 共识丁烛光，孝壮能子时，兵发歌以昌。咱野上的时阵，偌久无见着，真侪人无伫咧咯，真侪人头毛连白起，甲我相同。咱有时要做代志，有心无力。咱俗语说，高处不胜寒啊。伫野边的所在，当然会较寒个，但是袂要紧，有遮人的支持，咱就有法通突破。所以上总现在着重整士气，伫社会做光做严，因为上总是唯一有法通代表社的团体，应该上总是着做到整人的上总，毋是无部分人的上总。今仔日阮有机会人来参与，咱希望上总对内对外拢有一个交代。搁落去，阮全力的支持林玉庆的理事长，因为真侪菲律宾的朋友问我说，Mr. Cheng Lai， 你对菲律宾对这个感想是怎啊？我常常说 ，I'm proud to be a Filipino and I'm not ashamed to be a Chinese。迄个就是咱双重的身份。咱爱菲律宾这个国家，同样爱咱的祖籍国，咱的祖国。因为咱希望两岸会较早独立，伫习近平同志领导之下，咱会看到中国领土的完整。最后，恭祝各位身体健康，万事如意。
Thank you so much to all our guest speakers for today. 非常感谢各位贵宾发来的新春祝福。If you get a chance, please also grab a copy of the various major newspapers. Today, there is a 20-page spread on The Inquirer, as well as features on the Manila Times, Manila Bulletin, and Business World. And yesterday, there are 8 pages on the Philippine Star, which talks all about the Chinese New Year and the charities of the Filipino-Chinese Community Calamity Fund, as well as different projects of the FFCCCII Media Committee. And now, for our most awaited portion, we have prepared musical programs for everyone today, and I hope that you will enjoy.
Di ang 抛下让提更，欢欢喜喜迎新春，大家团圆好气氛，家家户户万事顺，恭喜恭喜恭喜你呀，恭喜恭喜恭喜你，街头巷尾人猜猜，人迎人赛顶头摆，新春佳日好头在，恭祝大家大发财。恭喜恭喜恭喜你呀，恭喜恭喜恭喜你。吉昂抛下让提更，欢欢喜喜迎新春，大家团圆好气氛，家家户户万事顺。恭喜恭喜恭喜你呀，恭喜恭喜恭喜你，街头巷尾人猜猜，人迎人赛顶头摆，新春佳日好头在，恭祝大家大发财。恭喜恭喜恭喜你呀，恭喜恭喜恭喜你，恭喜恭喜恭喜你呀，恭喜恭喜恭喜你。
耶耶耶！穿新衣，戴新帽，新的一年要来到，敲锣鼓，放鞭炮，幸福靠自己双手创造。天下的华人是一家，中华的美食传天下。过年热热闹闹的团圆饭，享在同个屋檐下。穿新衣，戴新帽，新的一年要来到，敲锣鼓，放鞭炮，幸福靠自己双手创造。天下的华人是一家，中华的美食传天下。如今红红火火的中国年开始变得多元化，全国各地不一样的风俗都有着同样的习气，全球华人不一样的民族都在享受欢腾的意境，大人都在忙着年夜饭，小孩围在餐桌旁边转，过年大家都在准备什么美食，让我们现在看一看。北方吃饺子，南方吃年糕，寓意着吃酒饮幸福不高，鸡鸭鱼肉南北方的不可少，烹饪方法不一样有不一样的味道，无论是大盘鸡还是白切鸡，北京烤鸭还是两火烧鸭，清蒸鱼、红烧鱼或者糖醋鱼，白灼虾、口味虾、麻辣小龙虾，天津狗不理包子，河南肉火烧，内蒙烤全羊，新疆羊肉串，香飘飘，香港丝袜奶茶，澳门葡式蛋糕，重庆的老火锅，上海的小笼包，欢迎 Chinatown 中华料理片吧，奶酪面包配米饭会吃得太饱，各民族都有特色美食各有代表，过年更是百花齐放，色香味都太好。穿新衣，戴新帽，新的一年要来到，敲锣鼓，放鞭炮，幸福靠自己双手创造。天下的华人是一家，中华的美食传天下。过年热热闹闹的团圆饭，享在同个屋檐下。穿新衣，戴新帽，新的一年要来到，敲锣鼓，放鞭炮，幸福靠自己双手创造。天下的华人是一家，中华的美食传天下。如今红红火火的中国年开始变得多元化。泰国东京宫、新加坡肉骨茶，马来西亚沙爹、老挝松木、越南春卷，柬埔寨阿木克语、文莱虾片、印尼黄酱饭，菲律宾酸汤、缅甸上厨豆腐面，五湖四海的兄弟姐妹，新年整的新穿搭，过年行大运转 new car， 干饭桌上必须要菜色丰富多彩，遍地开花，拿起筷子咱们尽情嗨唱。穿新衣，戴新帽，新的一年要来到，敲锣鼓，放鞭炮，幸福靠自己双手创造。天下的华人是一家，中华的美食传天下。过年热热闹闹的团圆饭，享在同个屋檐下。穿新衣，戴新帽，新的一年要来到，敲锣鼓，放鞭炮，幸福靠自己双手创造。天下的华人是一家，中华的美食传天下。如今红红火火的中国年开始变得多元化。
好
so much for watching the musical and dance programs that we prepared for everyone. We hope you enjoyed the variety of that. We had singing programs in Hokkien. We also had a Filipino traditional dance, the Pinikling, and we also have a Mandarin rap, and we also had Cantonese Chinese New Year songs. Thank you so much for joining. And to give our closing remarks for today, may we invite Vice President of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce, Mr. Jeffrey Nam. 有请副理事长黄奇昭致谢词。
林义庆理事长、商总各位同仁、各位支持嘉宾、华社各团体领导和代表、诸位侨胞和菲律宾同胞，大家新年好！今天本会通过视频举办庆祝农历人寅虎年新春庆典，很荣幸邀请到诸位华社侨龄波隆参加并致辞，给这场活动增添了无限光彩，深感荣幸。在此感谢各位支持嘉宾给予的全力支持，让我们这场庆典能以圆满成功。本人同时要感谢本会诸同仁，还有华社各团体领导和诸位侨胞，在百忙中播出宝贵的时间与我们同乐，增进这场庆典活动的热闹气氛。你们的浓情厚谊，我们铭记在心。希望新的一年能带给大家好运和新希望，让我们的国家能够早日完全控制疫情，经济继续复兴，大家能够重新过上安定的生活。最后，祝愿大家虎年大吉大利，心想事成。谢谢大家。We would like to greet all our VIP guests, friends in media, and everyone for joining us in today's Zoom Filipino-Chinese Community celebration of Chinese New Year. As the country recovers from the ravages of COVID-19, FFCCCII, with its 170 member chapters throughout the Philippines and the entire Filipino-Chinese community, are committed more than ever to re-strategize, reboot, and revive the economy to become more dynamic and better than before. Together, we look forward to building back a much better, safer, and healthier country in this year of the water tiger. Have a great day ahead. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you so much, Vice President Jeffrey Nam. 非常感谢商总副理事长黄其昭先生。And before we say goodbye, we would like to invite everyone to please open your cameras so that we may all take a screenshot and take a group photo to commemorate this special occasion of us celebrating the Chinese New Year. So please do open your cameras and sit at the center of your screens, and don't forget to smile. 现在邀请大家打开摄像头，坐在我们镜头的中央，别忘记微笑哦。让我们一起合影留念，保留着美好的一刻。And one more time. Once again, please smile and please sit in front of your in the middle of your screens. All right. Thank you so much for your cooperation. 非常感谢大家的配合。And this formally ends our celebration today, the Chinese New Year celebration of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Inc. for the Filipino-Chinese community. 非常感谢大家与我们一起共同庆祝非华商联总会庆祝2022年5年新春联欢会。Once again, my name is Luella Chan, and thank you so much for joining. Wishing you all a happy Chinese New Year. 祝大家新春快乐，身体健康，万事如意。I'll be opening your microphones so you can all greet each other. Thank you.